Hey everybody, Chris Provost here with Pros Park Pass, and I have what I think is some good news about Walt Disney World reopening. So we've got some amazing articles have been coming out. I've been getting messages from cast members, some things have been breaking, and I want to give you this news the second I got it. I just got this about 30 minutes ago and kind of been processing and trying to figure out what it all means, and I want to deliver it to you guys. Now, let's talk about this real quickly. If you might not notice, I got a chip in my tooth. Right there. If you want to see how I got that chip in my tooth, it's because my wife chipped my tooth on her last video, and I'll put a link up somewhere so you can see that. So I really hope the parks get open soon so we can start going back to parks making videos rather than doing videos at home so I don't keep getting my teeth chipped. All right, so let's go through what is going on, what has happened in the world of Disney today that people are getting excited about. There's lots of different things here, and I have lots of different articles I want to read to you guys, so it's going to just kind of be with me. And a lot of people say I talk really fast because I get excited. And it's true, I can't help it. All right, so here's the first news that's going on, the big one. This is Walt Disney World News reported this morning. And this could be a big game changer for everybody that's going on and thinking about going to Walt Disney World. It looks like Florida will be opening before California's Disneyland because California has stricter guidelines at this particular time. And Florida they're maybe easing some of those restrictions. So it looks like the parks might be opening there sooner. This is an article that came out today, and the Orange County Economic Recovery Task Force, I don't know if they have an acronym, that would be the OCERTF. The Orange County Economic Recovery Task Force has been meeting with all of these people trying to decide when they can reopen Orange County. And when I talk about Orange County, for those of you who are on the West Coast, I am talking about Orange County, Florida. This is all Orange County, Florida. So whenever I say Orange County, I'm now talking about Florida. They met earlier to discuss further parameters for each business sector, including brief conversations on how to move forward with theme parks, large public facilities with Mayor Demings. Mayor Demings is the mayor of Orange County, and they've been having these discussions of how are we going to be reopening this up. The mayor had previously had commented on how Disney's closures was responsibly done, and given that no outbreaks have been traced back to Walt Disney World. How amazing is that? If you think about that, not one outbreak has been traced back to Walt Disney World because they closed the second they realized what's going on. They closed and nothing's happened. So they've been very responsible, and the mayor is acknowledging that, which is great. So, anyways, moving on. Based on the conversation with Thomas, the best way to approach business, which may very well include Amway, the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts, Disney, Universal, and SeaWorld, is to put out something like this, said Whittle in a call before providing the following statement. So here is the statement. Theme parks and other venues of this magnitude shall each develop their own specific and unique set of guidelines following the CDC recommendations and using best practices that will protect the life, health, and safety of their employees and guests. They will be permitted to open at their own discretion with their internally determined level of safety capacities throughout the various phases. Wow, so let me kind of break that down. What it basically is saying in plain English is they're saying, hey, you guys make the decision of when you want to open it up. We're not going to tell you when Disney can open up, when Universal can open up, when SeaWorld can open up. You have to make that decision. And if you can make that decision and still go through the safety protocols, then you can open up, which is great. It's Whittle's belief that the ultimate reopening discussion should be put in the hands of the theme parks as opposed to the task force trying to write specific guidelines for them. Ultimately, they're going to be judged by the marketplace. If guests feel safe, they'll show up. If they don't, they're not, said Whittle in his remarks to the mayor. He also emphasized the effects of social media on any potential reopenings, claiming that the parks will be judged heavily based on what people see and talk about on social media, which I think is very true. I think when it opens, people are going to be watching to see what's going on there. Mayor Demings agreed with this statement, giving a large scope and impact these theme parks have on the county overall. Now, next statement. When you look at those large theme parks, they're like cities unto themselves also. And so nothing should be done in the way of our recommendations should appear to be punitive towards them. Because as a corporation, they can see small business units reopen and they have something similar, i.e. restaurants, shops that they can open. So why wouldn't they allow it to be open? The mayor stressed the importance of not lumping these large entities as one major conglomerate. However, the final statement to be issued by the county still needs to be punched up according to the mayor's recommendations. This is another part here. I know they will follow these guidelines because of their corporate responsibility and potential liability and exposure. So the language that you're offering, I believe, is good language. The bright minds on the call need to kick it around a bit to ensure that there are any unintended consequences. That's really what they're saying here. This is a big deal. What they're saying here, this economic task force, the Orange County Economic Task Force, is saying, hey, you large parks, Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, you're going to have to come up with your own plans to open up your park, and you need to be responsible. And the mayor is saying it's not really fair to think of them as one huge giant corporation. They can be spliced down. When these other little restaurants are opening up and other things are opening up there, then they're saying, well, why not allow Disney or Universal to start opening up their own parks and part of it, or however they feel, like restaurants or venues, and allowing them to handle their own liability, which I think is actually the right call to do there. So it's really impressive, which means that it's in their hands. And I know that Disney has been taking this and thinking about different ways that they can be doing this and opening up the parks sooner rather than later. Now, another amazing article this came out today as well. Now, keep in mind, I think this article is a little self-serving for Southwest Airlines, but I like Southwest Airlines, is right here. The CEO of Southwest Airlines issued a statement saying, hey, we need to reopen Disney. Disney needs to reopen. Now, I get why Southwest Airlines would like that to reopen because that would help their flights go. But that was a really interesting article. It just came out. So the MCO, that's the Orange County Airport. And it is in right there in Orlando. And it is a tourist airport for sure. This is where people fly to go to Walt Disney World. It's where people fly to go to Universal Studios, SeaWorld, and it's a tourist airport. And they have reported that it has been down in business by 97%. Only 3% of people are going to that airport at this particular time because it is a tourist airport. And so right here, in the MCO, I think it's kind of funny. Sometimes people call it Mickey's corporate office, that airport. But I like the MCO. That's the Orange County Airport. Here we go. Gary Kelly, the CEO of Southwest Airlines, in a recent article to USA Today, it was revealed that Southwest Airlines has only filled up 6% of its seats in April. Only 6% of the seats in April. A number that isn't expected to surpass 10% for the month of May. In an interview on CNBC, Southwest CEO Gary Kelly stated that traffic levels are next to zero at this point. He emphasized the needs for attractions to reopen and new safety measures to be implemented across airports and inside the aircraft. And this is what he says. Here's a direct quote. They need to have something to be able to do when they get there. So Disney World needs to open back up. Restaurants need to open back up. And what he's saying is people are not going to travel. They're not going to fly to Orange County MCO because there's nothing for them to do if nothing's opened up. So they got to get these things back opening. Now, I think he's accurate. I think people aren't going to be traveling there until things are opened up. And once again, I think I take this with a little bit. I understand where he's coming from. It's a business slant on his part saying, hey, their business is not going to start to recuperate until Walt Disney World reopens up again, which is absolutely 100%. Now, what does this mean? Let's break this down. What does this mean? When Walt Disney World reopens, they are going to be, they're going to have these safety measures in place. They have to do it by stages, right? Stage 1 is when they reopen them up. They will only probably be able to do about 50% capacity. When they hit stage 2, 75% capacity. And finally, when this is done, then they'll be able to hit 100% capacity. This also means that they're probably not going to open up all 4 parks at the same time. I'm assuming that the first park that they're going to open, I think they'll probably open 2 parks when they can. The Magic Kingdom is a no-brainer. That one's going to open up. And we don't really, the numbers of what their capacity is for those parks is proprietary information. They don't really reveal that. So I'm just making an estimate here, but I'm thinking about 50% of what their maximum capacity is. I'm saying that they'll probably then cap out around 30 to 35,000 guests. I think that's about half of their maximum capacity. So when the parks reopen, it's going to be around 30 to 35,000 guests. My best guess for that. And so they're going to be opening up. They'll open up Magic Kingdom at that numbers there. The other parks that I think are interesting, we got Hollywood Studios, we've got Animal Kingdom, and Epcot. I think they'll open 2 parks up when they can reopen them up. And I don't know which one. There's an argument for both. Animal Kingdom is ready to go. They've been taking care of the animals. They still have employees there making sure everything's operational. So Animal Kingdom would be very easy to reopen back up at a drop of a hat. Though on the flip side, Hollywood Studios, what does it have? Well, it's got Star Wars, the new Star Wars ride, Rise of Resistance, and you've got all that. So the people are clamoring to see that. So there might be some incentive, Mickey's Runaway Train, to reopen that park as soon as possible as well. But I think they'll probably open 2 parks. My gut says they're probably going to open up Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom. But you know what? They could do Animal Kingdom. Epcot, wow, that is a beast that's just a totally different beast because Epcot has a lot going on. I think Epcot will be the last one to be opened up because they are doing a ton of construction right now in Epcot. But that doesn't mean the construction is not why they wouldn't open up. The reason is Epcot, almost all the workers from Epcot are what? They're around the world, right? You got around the world. And when they had to furlough employees, most of them went home. So in order to reopen Epcot, that's going to take more of a massive undermining because they got to get all those employees from all over to come back so they can reopen Epcot, which is going to be a little bit trickier I think. So I think Epcot will be a little longer before it opens up. But that's the plan. When do I think the parks are going to go opening up? This is pure speculation on my part. I don't really know. Nobody said. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful maybe by June, maybe middle of June or sometime around there. Maybe they might start to be thinking about reopening up the parks, and I'm excited for that prospect. Once again, it is speculation. Disney hasn't said, but now that this has been put in the ball's been put in their court where they can open up at their own leisure, that makes me think that it may be opening up a little bit sooner. Here's some other things though. When they reopen, what is it going to be like? Nobody really knows because we don't know what Disney's going on. There are some speculations what's going to go on. I can give you some of what I think is going to happen. This is not confirmed, and there's been things like I think there'll be social distancing measures. I think they'll do temperature checks when you go into the park. They'll definitely do some type of temperature check on you. Then at that point, I think the lines I think are going to be spread out. So you'll be more social distancing in the lines. I think they're going to try to do virtual lines for a lot of the attractions, not just the high-end attractions. I do know for hotels, they have announced that they're going to do counterless check-in, where you don't even go to the front counter anymore. You can just do it all on your app, and when your room's ready, you go right to your room, and your phone can be able to unlock it. I think it's interesting. In Magic Kingdom, they'll probably all be wearing wristbands, but I don't remember if you've been to Magic Kingdom, you do a wristband and then you do a finger check to get in. I think they'll get rid of the fingerprint. That's going to be gone, I'm assuming, because you don't want to be touching that. I think they're going to do sanitation on the rides, make sure everything's clean. I don't think there's going to be, I don't know how they're going to do parades or theaters. I think they're going to probably hold off on those until they can kind of get up with the idea of how they're going to be opening those up in the future. So this is just some speculation. I am very, very optimistic that Walt Disney World will be opening up sooner than I thought. So I think this is a great time for all of us to kind of something to look forward to, and we'll see what happens. Put it down in the comments down below. When do you think it's going to open up? How do you feel about it? Would you go on opening day? And when the park opens up, do you want to be there on opening day? Or are you going to hold back and be like, I'm going to wait and see how things pan out before I rush down there because of how I feel? I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to that. I just like to know what you think down in the comments down below. Thank you guys. I appreciate your positivity and your support. You guys are amazing. Continue to keep doing those things you're doing to help. Wash your hands a lot, guys. Don't touch your face. Don't stay inside. Try to stay away from other people the best that you can. And just be safe out there, guys. And know that you are awesome. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.